welcome to the podcast.
So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm excited about all the things that you do because I was just telling you, I've never had anyone on the podcast talk about what we're about to talk about. So I'm super excited to dive into everything. But before we sort of get into the nitty gritty, can you just introduce yourself and let us all know what led you into hypnotherapy and intuitive work combined?
Well, okay. I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible. Basically, what got me into hypnotherapy was having very weird childhood, I guess. I think some of the best people in the world were weird kids, right? Like they just were weird children. I'm sure you were one of them. I can tell.
Yeah, definitely not
And
normal.
I think it's such a gift, and in the way that I always had this hunger, this need to know what the spirit was, what is beyond our flesh, what is beyond our bodies, what is that? And I had two very different upbringings. My mother's very, very religious side, and my dad is very as opposite as you could be, walking around the house with his long hippie hair saying he's never coming back, this is his last life, he's too old to be doing this, he can't do it again, and he's just tired and done. And I was just so I had, as you could probably tell, I had a lot of questions because those two ideologies just don't mesh, right? So I just had so many questions. I was very I was very hungry for answers and for what felt true to me. And when I was 20, going through all the things that you do when I think it was my third Saturn return. Is that right? Every 7 years. So right around then, I was trying to figure out who I was. I just decided to move to California, and my sister gave me this book called Journey of Souls. Are you familiar? Journey of Souls by
No,
Michael Newton.
no,
Oh my
I haven't
gosh.
read
Okay.
it.
If you haven't read this book, it's Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls, two different books, same guy, Michael Newton. He was basically a hypnotherapist psychologist who ended up stumbling into past life regressions on accident because his clients would spontaneously go to these places. He had no idea what was going on. He's just trying to do hypnosis on them to, relieve some symptoms that they were having. And he kind of stumbled into it, and he ended up specializing in the life between life state. So when they are choosing their next life, and when they're deciding who they're going to incarnate with, and the contracts they're going to have, and the lessons they're going to learn, the coolest book I've ever read, obviously. But I had no idea what hypnotherapy was, and I just knew that it was really cool. So very long story short, I'd always had this in the back of my mind as something that really it landed so true for me. It's for the first time ever, I was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. This is it. And it took me until I was 27 to actually take the leap, because I had a child, and I was like, I don't want to go back to retail. I'm not going back to a weird job I don't like and working for other people and not seeing my kid. I want to be with my kid. So what could I do? Basically, what do I want to be when I grow up to where I can hang out with my kid and be happy in what I do? And hypnotherapy came shooting back into my brain. And, okay, this part's important, so I can't skip over it. But basically, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, remember hypnotherapy? That was so cool. You loved learning about that. What if you did that for your job? And I got excited immediately, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so fun. And then immediately after that was the voice of no, come on, lady, you're a mom. You're a mom now. Actually, you have to be responsible. You have to pay your bills. You have to do the thing and know where your money's coming from. You have to contribute to this household. And I kind of believed it, and I agreed, and I was like, yeah, you're right, I probably have to. My shoulders slumped and my energy dimmed and all the things. And I will never forget, looking back, it felt like a split second. It might have been the next day, I don't know, but at some point I heard a voice in my head that why not? Why can't you? Honestly, why can't you? And I just thought, that's a good question. Why can't I? Anyone who's ever done anything cool has to start at this fork in the road, right? This part is where you say, either I'm going to do the same thing I've always done and do the safe thing and do the thing that keeps me in the same box, comfortably uncomfortable, or I can be scared and I can be really uncomfortable doing something new, something that actually makes me happy, and something I'm really not sure about how it's going to go, but I know it's going to make me happy. So I have to do it. And I kind of, that part I never skipped because it was the first time that I can remember where I actively had this back and forth with my, what I now know as my limiting belief and possibly my intuition or my soul trying to expand me and battling this part of me that's like, no, safety. And so I always like to include that piece because it's just so important. And I definitely had a moment where I could have just said no. And I did a little bit. I was like, yeah, I have a kid. I had to be responsible. And then I was just like, what if I just made a call? What if I just showed up and like took a tour of this, institute and see what's what? And then I was hooked and you couldn't stop me. There was a moment actually though, where I called my husband from the tour. They said, hey, it just so happens we just started a new semester of this hypnotherapy program yesterday. So you'd be getting in like basically day one, which is really interesting timing. But I called my husband. I was like, so I know I was supposed to get a job and make money, but I'm actually going to take out a student loan. Are you okay with this? And he said, do you really want to do this? I said, I really want to do this. And he goes, okay, then you have to do it. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I almost was like, what do you mean? You were my last chance to back out of this. And now you're letting me do it. But
I
yeah,
love
that's
that.
kind of how I ended. The short story is I've always been weird and I've always needed to know more about us as spirits and what's beyond this experience. And the long story is subconscious beliefs and responsibilities and having a support system and kind of going through that whole journey myself. So I do like to talk about it because I see people every day going through it, and hopefully I can help them and give them clarity or at least know that it gets better at the end of the rainbow, you know?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it is such a normal, we'll say, narrative. Like I
Yeah.
get it nearly every single day, especially when I'm doing one question readings. People are sending in their question and it's all about work and purpose and career. And I hate my job. It's toxic. I'm stuck here. I just want
Mm-hmm.
to find something else. I want to be inspired. I want to go into my side hustle full time. I really want to like move forward, but I don't know how. And I'm scared to move. And I'm worried I'm not going to have enough money or I'm not going to be able to do this and that. And you're right. There are so many limiting beliefs that could keep us so stuck. But once, for me, I think because I had the same mentality when I jumped into this business. I was like, my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. You know, I don't want it to turn from a hobby to something I have to do. I don't think I'm ever going to make my corporate money. Like, I had all this bullshit going on. And the thing that helped me was facts. My brain needed facts. It needed
Yeah.
to know things. And that's why when you said I got really curious and I want to know things, it's the same with me. I'm like, okay, well, what's realistic for me in my brain? How can I convince my brain that this is a good
Mm-hmm.
thing? So I showed myself, okay, if I do this many clients and they're at this price, then I could be able to do this and this might be easy for me. And I think that's doable to get maybe 10 clients a week. Like if you actually break it down and make it
Yeah.
doable, it helps to like almost fight that limiting belief in your brain because that's just blowing up all the time going it's impossible, but really if you break it all down and you do it in little pieces it's probably more doable than you think. Do you agree?
Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly what I try to illustrate in my, I guess, origin story, my hypnotherapy origin story, which is like, instead of thinking, oh, I have to start a business tomorrow, I have to actually do this and this is scary, I have to do hypnotherapy, I just thought, well, what if I just made a call? What if I just like looked into it? And then of course that led to the next step and the next step and the next step. There is a piece that I actually forgot to mention, and I almost never forget this, but I have to tell you because you're a medium and you will love this. So I think you
Yeah.
you and your audience will appreciate this synchronicity. So I read the book when I was 20, right? So I still lived in my hometown in Michigan. When I read that book, it changed a whole bunch of stuff at my core and in my energy that I just knew I had to move to California. And it wasn't until I moved to California that I found the institute that I was going to go to. And it happened to be down the street from where I would have gone back to work. That's the first weird thing, because Los Angeles is not a small place. Anybody who's ever been there or even knows about it knows it's a very huge, gigantic city. And the fact that the place that I ended up attending was down the street, that's the first weird thing. Second weird thing is once I graduated, I ended up working there as a instructor for the distance program, the online program. And I looked at my name in the database because duh, of course, I wanted to see what they said about me when I was a student. I was like in now. And so I wanted to see. And they had my old address from Michigan, my old phone number from Michigan, my name, my married name is different than my maiden, and they had my maiden name. They had a profile for me from 2005. Now I'm aging myself. From 2005, when I was 19 or 20, and I had filled out an application for the distance program at that exact same school. And I completely you know how when you do that, you like fill out an application and then they call you and you're like, nah, I'm not ready, I'm not going to answer. And then you just ghost them, right? That's what I did. I was like 20 years old and I just like ghosted them. But I was sitting in the chair of the office that I would have called, I don't know, 8-9 years before that, wondering about the distance program, because I think I had planned to take it from Michigan and I just never ended up doing it because I wasn't ready. And it's just such a funny little soul breadcrumb that I know my soul was like, she'll appreciate this when she gets here to know that
Oh my God.
this is exactly where this chair is where she needs to be sitting. And she will know when she sees this, because I'm the kind of person, I think maybe you are too, that needs the signs to be like very dramatic. Otherwise, I'm going to try to rationalize it. I'm going to try to logic it and like, I don't know. But that for me, like, you cannot convince me that I'm not doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. You just can't. You can't convince me.
I love that.
It wasn't even the school that I was going to go to. It wasn't even the one that I wanted at first. And that sounds weird because I love my school, but I wanted to go to Michael Newton's Institute in Northern California to do specifically what I read that he did in his book. And I ended up doing like a more, a whole hypnotherapy program. So it wasn't just past life regression. It was like everything, like weight loss and smoking cessation. It was all of it. Right. But it was not, it's just so weird. It was not the school I was going to go to. And I ended up going to it. And then I had already 8-9 years before put in an application. Anyway,
that's bizarre.
So
it is so weird. It's so awesome because it just shows you that sometimes, you know, you need to go down a different path to get to where you're supposed to be. The first path you went down like directly then wasn't right. You needed to be this version of you when you started that course, not that version of you. So it's so fascinating. I love when you said we need like dramatic signs. In my head, I'm like, yeah, we need like a signier sign, like something that's like better. But that is like drop the mic kind of shit. Like you can't make this shit up. Yes. It makes me laugh.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Okay.
Really
I want to talk to you about like the subconscious mind because, you know, our intuition is always very strong if you decide to listen to it. And obviously our subconscious is always working in the background. So how do intuition and the subconscious mind actually work together to help us or hinder us?
Right. Or, you know, okay. So the first thing, there's a lot of things that I want to say about the subconscious because it gets such a bad rap. It's very mysterious, but it really isn't that mysterious. It's everything about you that is true that you don't have to think about. That is the simplest way I can put it. So your ability to ride a bike and write and breathe and digest food and everything that is a fact about you that you don't have to think about is in the subconscious. It also includes how you process your emotions and your knee-jerk reactions when things happen and your instincts. Again, the things you don't think about, the things that just happen. It includes your limiting beliefs. So if you know that I guess you wouldn't really know it, but if you have a belief deep down in your subconscious that money, you know, doesn't grow on trees, it's usually money, isn't it? It's such a common thing. So I usually go with money because everyone can relate to this. You know, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford it, or any kind of version of that lack mentality. That is a thing that is true about you that you don't have to think about. So when you come up to an opportunity where you could expand your money, or you could get more abundance, or you could step outside of that known truth about you, you start to feel maybe excited at first, maybe a little bit of hope, maybe a little bit of anticipation. And then something usually happens, whether it's self-talk, like we've already talked about, it happens to everybody. Self-talk, or that limiting belief creeps up, or that self-sabotage, heavy quotes around that, that will creep up and kind of make you slump your shoulders and make your energy dim and remind you why it's not possible for you, and remind you why you should probably just stay safe in this little box that you're in, that your subconscious knows for a fact has kept you alive this long. Why would it ever change? Why? What's the point? Because you're safe and you're breathing and you're putting one foot in front of the other, and that's its only job, is to keep you alive and keep you safe as far as what it knows is safe for you. Anytime, whether it's money or love or, you know, health or anything like that, any goal that you have, if it's outside of what your subconscious knows to be true about you, then you will have to convince your subconscious that it's a safe thing to do. And that's why hypnotherapy is so effective, because that's exactly what we do, is we go right to the source, right to the subconscious, to help you teach your subconscious why this thing is not only safe and natural, the natural next step for you, but it is the only thing to do, because this is how we expand. So it's not about kind of fighting your subconscious. You're never going to achieve any goal if it's not on board with it. You just won't. You cannot achieve a goal if your subconscious is not on board. And the other thing I want to make sure people know is you are 100% successful at achieving every single goal your subconscious has set for itself based on what it knows to be true about you. So you have 100% success rate if you look at it that way. Now, if you want to step into the next level of you, all it takes is just you kind of safely, lovingly showing that it's a safe thing to do, showing your subconscious, teaching it what is your new normal. And it's really fun and relaxing. And it feels good.
I love that.
Intuition. I can talk about that next, but I think that's important.
Yeah,
you should know what your subconscious is for and what it does. It is the thing that's keeping you alive and kept you alive this long. So I think a level of appreciation, if you don't have it already, for your subconscious.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I think everyone is intuitive. Like, I don't think this is something that, you know, you have to learn. Like, you have this already going on. Like, you have these gut instincts, these reactions, these pulls in certain directions. And I think this is where, like, we get a bit tripped up, because our intuition might be telling us one thing, like we just know that this is the right thing to do, but our subconscious might be telling us, oh, that's unsafe. That's not what you should be doing. Like, are you crazy, bitch? And then, then you got to go, yes, I am crazy, but I feel like we can make this work. So I feel like you've got this conversation going on in your brain between these two different, like, angel devil kind of thing. And you're trying to blend the two of them so that you can move forward. That's how I would, I guess, describe it.
It is very interesting that you had this exact question, because that's exactly how it felt when I first got the, I guess, download, or got the inspiration to actually do hypnotherapy for a job. First thing was excitement. First thing was, oh my God, how expansive. My soul was very happy. And then my subconscious was like, wait, what? What do you think you're doing? So it is a little bit of that, and recognizing the difference between an expansive fear and a contracting fear. A contracting fear is like, don't touch a hot stove. Danger, danger, danger. It can also mean danger, danger, danger. What's on the other side of this? We have no idea. You've never leapt over this cliff before. You've never stepped into this unknown before. An unknown danger to your subconscious is just as dangerous to it as a known threat. So if you're feeling nervous about something, feel into it and decide if it's an expansive fear, meaning it's coming from your intuition, meaning, of course, it's going to be scary, but I have to do it because it's going to make me happy. You've already done so many things. If you're a mom, that was an expansive fear. If you've ever moved to a new place, that's an expansive fear. If you've ever gotten married or committed to anyone or gotten a new job, right? Like any sort of like nervousness that you have is kind of a good thing, because it shows you that you're stepping into the unknown and you can do it. Now, that is much, much different than a contracting fear, which we all know just feels bad. It feels scary and bad. So it's really about gauging it for yourself. Like, how does an expansive fear feel to me? How does a contracting fear feel to me? And that's how you know.
Oi, it's Jade. My mum thinks I'm cool. Do you know what else my mum thinks is cool? Our Lime Glow products. Be cool. Get some Lime Glow.
Yeah, definitely. I have a question for you, because I have done hypnotherapy. I did it a while ago, like years and years and years ago, when I was going through a lot of my own healing and, trying to reprogram my mind of some of the limiting beliefs that I had. And I had this idea, right? Because when you've never done it before, you don't know what to expect. You think that you're going to sit there and go into a trance and be like, crawling along the ground and, pretending to be a cat and all this kind of shit.
Looking like a chicken.
Yeah, like all this shit. But I actually found when I was sitting there, I was in more of like a meditation state where I felt like I was relaxed, but I was very aware of the person who was doing things. I was conscious. Like it didn't feel as unconscious as what I thought it was going to feel. It's like we have this idea that it's going to be something that it's not. Can you just explain to everyone like whatever the fuck I'm talking about? Because you obviously know what I mean. And like, do you have people
when I start
who think
hopping
that?
in my chair, it means I have I'm ready. I'm just tell me when to talk.
Go.
Yes, I do love this question because a lot of people will say like I actually used to joke, they'll say like, could you make me look like a chicken? I'm like, yeah, but that costs extra. Like, of course, but that's not included in your program. But it is such a common thing because you see stage hypnotists and you see all these like big shows and you see the difference in what a stage hypnotist does versus a hypnotherapist. And if you've never been to a hypnotherapist, it's easy to just connect those two. It could not be more different. I mean, it is the same in the fact that like you are entering an altered state, but I got to tell you, I have no desire to ever do a stage show, but I could do a very, very good stage show if I wanted to, because I know how to do it. They know exactly who to call up to the stage. They know exactly how to put them into trance really quickly. It's called, what they do in stage is called a shock induction, which has nothing to do with rapport or trust or a sense of safety whatsoever. It's just shake my hand and go in. It's very wham bam thank you ma'am, if I may. It's very quick like that. And so you don't need to have a relationship with the person. Now they'll still do it because they're up there on the stage, and if you are a good hypnotist, you know exactly who to pick, meaning the people that are nodding along and they're really into the show. Those are called highly suggestible people. So they'll come up and then they get on the stage and they look out at the audience and everybody's staring at them and they're supposed to do something. And then the hypnotist says 3, 2, 1, sleep. And what are you going to do? You're going to be the only one that doesn't sleep? No, you're going to go to sleep. So it's like there has to be a level of cooperation and willingness in any kind of hypnotherapy trance-like state. It's called heterohypnosis. So if someone else is putting you in hypnosis, there has to be a level of willingness. I cannot force you into hypnosis. That is brainwashing. And again, that is extra. But it's a joke. But
I love that.
It's a very different thing. And I like that you have experience with this. And that's exactly how I describe it to people. It's kind of like a hypnotherapy in a therapeutic setting for self-improvement of any kind is a very safe and warm and nurturing place to be, especially if you have rapport and you have a good relationship with your hypnotherapist. You must have that. You must know what their energy feels like. And if you don't like it, please don't pick them, because you're not going to get the most success that you could with someone that you do vibe with, right? We all know it's with any practitioner of anything. You have to have some sort of symbiosis. Is that the right word I'm looking for? It is a word, I'll tell you that. But but when you describe it as like being fully aware, that's exactly what it is. I kind of describe it as 1 foot in, 1 foot out of reality. So you know that you're in the chair, or in the on the couch, or wherever you are in the hypnosis, but you're also somewhere else. You're also in like floaty dreamland. It feels very nice and you feel very safe. It's kind of, if you've never experienced it before or experienced a deep meditation, it's kind of like getting a deep massage. Like, you're safe. You know that this is just very relaxing and you are in a good place to be. And oh my gosh, you're so relaxed. But if you wanted to, you could open your eyes. You could walk out of the room. You could end the session at any point. And that's exactly how hypnosis is. When I was doing in-person sessions in California, one of my first questions was like, what if there's an earthquake? Like, what do I do with a client if there's an earthquake? And it's very simple. Like, they'll just wake up and they'll come out. Your self-preservation skills are still there. You still have, your need to survive is still on. So you'll pop right out. You'll be able to do what you need to do. If the doorbell rings when you're doing a meditation, you can get up and answer the door. The difference between a meditation and a hypnosis, I would say, is the level of depth. So with a meditation, if it's guided in any way, meaning if there's an objective to your meditation, it's more like hypnosis, because hypnosis is very strict about there's an objective here. We are going into a trance to do something. We're either calling in more abundance, or we're meeting our spirit guides, or we're stopping smoking, whatever it is, stop biting our nails. There is always an objective. With a traditional meditation, you're more clearing the energy, clearing the mind so that you can receive, downloads or information or higher wisdom. So there's a little bit of a distinction, but anytime you're listening to a guided hypnosis, you're going into hypnosis, or a guided meditation is a little bit of a hypnosis, just FYI. But it is a very dreamy, floaty space, kind of like right before you fall asleep, where you're about to fall asleep, but you're still awake, kind of. It's kind of like that. You're very aware, you're in control at all times, and it just feels very nice. And you're able to feel that your subconscious is receptive. You're able to see images in your mind in the experience that will, solidify in the subconscious, because if it happens in the subconscious, it happened to you. Like there's a part of you that will always feel like, oh, that really happened. So if we do a spirit guide journey and you meet your spirit guide, that guide is going to be just as vivid to you in your mind forever as it was the day you did it. I did mine, 10 years ago, and I still see her perfectly and connect with her. And it's just such a beautiful way to be able to connect with your spirit team, yourself, your inner child. I mean, the sky's the limit. That's why I love it so much. I don't know if I answered your question, but I'm just going to keep going.
You did, for sure. You did. Absolutely. And I think, as women, there are like collective, blocks. I feel like a lot of us are blocked in very similar ways. So what are the most common like subconscious blocks, beliefs that women have that have seen you? Have you seen any threads of like what I'm seeing, where we're blocked in similar ways?
I think I could just answer it, but I'm going to just ask all the listeners. I'm going to ask you too. If you could think of one thing that a woman might think, maybe that's blocking me, or maybe that's holding me back.
Yeah.
What do you think it would be?
I'll feel like mine. Yeah, I feel like I'm like not enough. Like just as I am.
So what I was and yes, 90% of the women that I see, no matter what it is, I don't care what it is, because 3-4 sessions in, I mean, I do care what it is. Of course I care what it is, but they'll present with one thing, and then you'll realize as we go on our journey together that, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was connected to this. And I had no idea I was still holding on to this. And oh my gosh, can we heal this? And what else can we do? And the sky's the limit, like I said. But at some point, a few sessions in, it usually becomes, do I really get to have this thing? And where in my life did I not feel like I was worthy enough to have this thing? And when was the first time somebody made me feel like I wasn't enough, or that I didn't deserve what I wanted, or that I had to be or do or say or feel or think something more? And it's never going to be enough. So like, of course we would feel that way. But I would say hands down 90% of the time, probably more, but I'm being very conservative, but I would say a vast majority, at some point just are like, maybe do I really feel like I get to have this?
Definitely.
And that's okay. It's okay that you feel that way, because that's what you're here for. You're here to discover what it is so that you can heal it, release it with love, and replace it with something that actually brings you closer to who you really are, who you want to be, who you're already moving in the direction toward,
Yeah, definitely.
That's
and for me, it's like, I think that if I stop like working a certain way, or I stop performing a certain way, that everything stops for me. Almost like I haven't like done enough to like sustain my life or sustain my business or whatever already. And I know I have, like, probably if I was just to put down everything and just show up for my readings and do what I need to do, my business would probably just keep operating the way that it needs to through word of mouth and my newsletter and all the things. But in my brain, I go, alert, alert. You've built your business a certain way. If you stop doing all those things, if you stop pushing and showing up 24/7 and being on Instagram and posting and doing all this shit, everything goes away, Jess. That's in my brain. So I'm like a dancing fucking monkey running around all the time.
The biggest thing I hear in my head is people are going to forget about you. They're going to forget. If you stay away too long, you're going to have to start over. That's it. Yeah. It can't
That is it.
I'm sure it's not. But I will say this. You're never going to get it done. Meaning, if we conquered this belief tomorrow, there's going to be another one. We're never done. You're never a perfect masterpiece, but you are a working masterpiece, one that is constantly evolving, constantly expanding, constantly working on the things that are holding you back today, because you don't have to worry about the things that held you back yesterday. And I really, really hope everybody listening and everybody, whether it's 10 years from now, you're listening to this or tomorrow, I don't know what tomorrow, it's not going to go tomorrow, but I don't care when you're listening to this, because it doesn't matter. Please take a second and realize how far you've come. Realize all the things you used to think that you don't think anymore. And please, please, please go celebrate that, because we don't celebrate that enough. We are always evolving. Cellularly, we're evolving. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, we're evolving every single minute of the day. I did not know this is the direction I would take this talk in, but I'm glad I did. Please celebrate your wins, celebrate your progress, celebrate how far you've come and all the things you don't have to be held back with anymore. And please recognize there will always be something else, but that's okay. When you're done, you're dead. You're not done until you're dead. And I don't plan on dying anytime soon. Knock on wood.
I know. And you know what? Right at the start, when you were saying your dad's walking around saying, "This is my last life, I've fucking had enough," I'm like, oh my God, he's me.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that. That was so funny.
He is a whole thing. He will say, people do not understand. I knew Jesus. And I'm like, blasphemy. And he's like, I don't care. I knew Jesus. And he is not what people think he is. And I don't know what that means. And I'm afraid to ask. Okay.
Maybe you don't ask. Maybe you just leave it ambiguous. Just vague. It's just a dad thing.
It's just about, he could have his own podcast, but please don't start a podcast out. I'm just saying he's got some zingers, this guy.
I love that.
Yeah, it is funny. True though. I think there's a lot of people I know that are like, how could I have possibly incarnated more than once? Like, am I a new soul, or why do I keep coming back?
Yeah, that's my question. What the fuck is wrong with me? How many lives do I need to live and lessons do I need to learn?
What if I told you, and I don't know if this is true, but it might be true. What if your soul version of you just really thinks it's fun? What if
she's fucked?
Fun.
She's fucked. She needs some serious hypnotherapy to learn some facts.
Because here's what's funny, and I've had this conversation a lot in the last few days, actually. This is a theme, I think, where it's like the separation between what the soul knows and what our human version knows. And it's so easy to be like, how can my soul possibly want this for me? Because I believe, and this is coming from someone who grew up in a very unsafe environment, in a very traumatic environment. I truly believe that I chose this, and I know how that sounds, and I know how it lands. And do not take it if it doesn't resonate, please. My information is a la carte. Okay, don't take what you want, leave the rest. But I do truly believe that everything that has ever happened to me has happened for me, and it did not. It was a very long time for me to get to this, but I will tell you, my work in spirituality and my work with clients and my work in past lives and life between life therapy has really helped me understand the power and wisdom of my soul. If my soul knew better than me, how would it change how I feel about my experience? If my soul knew that everything I'm going through right now, yesterday, last year, tomorrow, 10 years from now, is for my own soul's progression and my own benefit, how would I move through my life differently? And that is a question that only you can answer for yourself. But I am living it in practice, and I can only tell you my experience. And I also, this is a very, very random fact about me, but I'm a huge Sims fan.
Are you?
I love playing The Sims. And it's really helped me kind of understand the spirituality of it all. Because if I look at myself as like, let's say we zoom out and we take it as like the macro, and I'm like the soul of my Sims. I'm like, just play this one, and now I'll play this one, and now I'm gonna be this character, and now I'm gonna make them super poor because it's more fun to make them poor and then build up their wealth. Right. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like a life lesson that I don't want for me. But it's fun to play in the game. So I don't know. I just think if your soul knew better than you, how would you be able to look at certain things differently? And I think a different perspective is always a benefit. Whether or not you take it, just spending time there is a good thing. You know?
I agree. And I am like you. I feel like my soul chose all of this for me as well. But it's really weird because over the last, like, I'm going to say like few months, it's like for a long time, I've been quite, angry. Like, oh, why did this happen to me? And like, oh, they're fucked and this and that. And look, to a degree, I still think these things, like people are fucked.
Well, we are
like,
humans. We did come to be humans.
Exactly. But there's something within me now that's softening a little bit where I'm like, I kind of, I'm letting go of a lot of things, like letting go of a lot of that. Oh, I have to have this point of view still, or I have to think like this still. I'm like, I don't think I need to have some of that stuff go on anymore. And it's not that I'm forgetting, like I'm not getting amnesia and forgetting all the things that have happened to me, but I'm kind of not putting as much emphasis.
In case you're listening to this and you're not watching, she got so mad just saying the word forgetting. She will never forget.
I am not fucking forgetting, I'm telling you.
I can tell.
I'll never forget. But there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to live in that narrative anymore. Like I feel like I don't need to every day wake up going, oh yeah, what do I believe again? Like, who do I not like again? Like, I don't feel like I need to do that anymore. I'm kind of like, I feel like I want to focus more on what I want to do now, or like what is coming for me, like what is exciting for me, like rather than sitting in that trauma, sitting in those relationships, trying to hold my stance on I don't want to do this and I'm not talking to them and I'm not doing that. Like I'm kind of softening all of that a little bit. It still exists, but it's not my focus. And that's weird for me because my business has been built around being authentic and honest, and I've told a lot of people about things that have happened to me and they are all still my truths. But I just don't feel like that's my focus at the moment. Like, is that weird to like shift energy? It's just odd to me. I don't know what's happening.
How long would you say this has been going on for?
I reckon over the last like few months, I've just felt like I'm different. Like something's changed. I don't know why.
Oh, this is going to get so weird. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared. Be weird.
I'm going to get so weird with this. Okay. So I think I think a lot of people have probably been feeling that there is something happening as a collective for humanity at this moment. And I don't really want to get too dramatic with it. It's just a feeling. And everyone I've been talking to and all the circles I run in have been echoing the same thing, which is like, we are moving through whatever paradigm we're in right now to a new one. We are literally stepping into the unknown spiritually as a collective. And I have people around me deconstructing from lifelong religions, getting out of relationships that they used to just deal with, quitting jobs, moving. Like, people are making big changes right now. And they will say the same thing you just said, which is like, I just feel different.
Yeah.
Now, it is weird, but it is good. It is weird, but your soul is like screaming and so happy for you. And I think a lot of our souls are very happy for us, for any amount of thing that we do for growth and expansion and the next step forward. There are certain things I say you will never regret. Number one, knowing yourself more. If you don't like yourself, it's just because you don't know yourself, babe. I hate to say it. You just don't know yourself that well. You can't not love yourself if you know yourself. If you truly love yourself or know yourself, you can't not love yourself. The other thing is, you'll never regret betting on yourself, taking a chance, for your happiness. And you'll
Mhm.
never regret moving forward, whatever that looks like to you, even if it's just a baby step. These are things you will never regret doing. No one in the history of the world has ever said, man, I really wish I didn't move forward. No, it's not a
No.
thing. No one's ever going to say,
No.
man, I wish I didn't know myself so well. Like, no one says
No.
that. So
Mm-mm.
anyway, I think one of the weird things that I did not think I was going to bring to this conversation again is that I think we're transitioning into whatever you want to call it. Some people are saying heaven on earth. Some people are saying the new earth. Some people are saying 5D. I don't know what it is. I'm excited. I don't
Yeah.
know where we're going, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening either. It's almost like I'm walking towards peace. Like I just want
Yes.
peace for
Yes.
myself. Like I just want to wake up every day and be thinking about what's in front of me rather than what is behind me. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it's just changing my conversations that I'm having with people. It's just changing my whole vibe. I'm just,
Yeah.
I don't know, just
And you find
different.
yourself surrounded by people that now match this vibe versus the vibe that you were the story you were running before.
Hmm.
And I think that the most beautiful thing about it is we don't really have to worry about the collective. If
Yeah.
all you do is worry about you walking towards peace, that is the most beautiful way you could have said it, by the way. If all you have to worry about is how you can move toward peace, walk toward peace, that's
Mm,
all you have to do. And it
yeah.
sounds like a cheat, doesn't it? It sounds like a fake.
Mm,
It sounds like a bamboozle. Like we're
yeah.
not tricking you. I promise you, this is it.
This
It just,
is legit.
we've been told for so long that you have to work hard. You have to burn out. You have to look outside of yourself for the truth. Oh my gosh, it's never
Mm,
been outside of you. Not once, not ever. Um,
hmm.
and I think if nothing else, more and more of us as humans are like, maybe it's not outside of me. Maybe I don't
No.
care what other people
Hmm.
think of me. Maybe I really just want to be happy and be the best version of myself that I can be and leave
Hmm.
this world a little better than I found it. Maybe.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of my things that I'm saying to myself, and even in the last like couple of weeks, I've been making all these like mad moves, but it's been mad moves towards less, mad moves
I am
towards
not
peace.
surprised by this. Yeah.
It's weird. I'm
You
going,
sound like everyone else I've been talking to. This is insane. And I really hope if you're listening to this and there's any way for you to comment, please tell me if you're doing this too. Like
mm,
I'm sure we'll share this episode. Please
yeah,
comment below like how you have been making moves and if you agree that some weird shit's going on in a good way.
it is for
Go on.
sure.
I'm sorry.
Like I'm going, no, I'm going, I can't do that. I can't do that until June. I'm moving that. No, that's not happening. Like, I'm turning into this chick that's actually trying to support me, almost like how I used to in my corporate role. Like, I was an EA.
Yeah.
So I was always looking after someone, going, I'm going to make sure your life is as easy as possible. I'm going to make
Yeah.
things balanced for you. I'm starting to do it for myself now, where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Jess, you've overcommitted. Like, what is wrong with you? Stop, stop, stop. Say no, 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 back, back, back. Because I want to find balance and I want to find peace and I want more capacity to be able to just be. And I've never
Yeah.
been like this. I've never been like a no girl. I'm always a yes. Yes, I'll do it. Yes, we'll do it yesterday. Like, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
actually, I don't actually think that's much of a priority in my brain right now. I think maybe still a yes, but it's a not right now. And it's odd.
Can I tell you how it's kind of showing up for me? Is that
Mm.
I always have this like carrot and stick problem. Like I can't
Yeah.
end my day until all of these things are done. I can't relax until this gets done. I can't until. And there's always another carrot. There's always another thing to do.
Hmm.
And I've been starting to, when you said like you've been laying back and like stopping overcommitting and pushing things and really focusing on what brings you the most peace, it reminded me that that is how I'm doing it, which is like, it's not about the carrot. It's about any little amount that you do today is moving the needle forward. And
Yeah.
if you would have tried to convince me of that even a year and a half ago, I would have
Hmm.
been like, you don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And it's so,
Yes.
and this is how it feels. It's like things that you never, ever, ever thought would ever be true for you are just easily true. And so you're
Mm.
like, wait, what happened? What's going
Yeah.
on? Where's the cheat code? Because I think I found it. But it's gonna show up different for everybody. But honestly, for me, it's like less focus on all the tasks that have to get done. Because another thing I realized is there's never going to be an end. There's always going to be another one. There's always going to be another one. So I have to be the parent to myself and be like, it's okay. You can stop.
Yeah, enough.
And you did good job. You did a good job today. Okay.
Enough. Pat yourself on the head. You did good, girl.
Honestly. That's what I'm saying. It's work for everybody. Like I hope I never show up as somebody who tries to make people feel like I have it together. I do not have it together. I have some good ideas. I have some great days. I have some really crappy days. And I think that's what we're here for. We're here to feel it all. You're here to have shitty days. You're here to have really great days. You're here to have synchronicities that slap you in the face and prove the existence of divine intervention and divine timing to you. And the fun part is looking at all those things along the way, all of those different ways that spirit shows up for you and tells you that you're doing a good job. Yeah. And you have to do it first.
You do, definitely. I have loved chatting to you. Before we get into the weird questions that Jade has for you, how can everyone connect with you if they do want to do a session or chat with you?
Yeah. So I actually have some pretty cool things that I've created in 2025. So I still see clients one-on-one. If you're into like deep personal transformation, very specific hypnosis to exactly what you need, I'm always ready, willing, and excited to see one-on-one clients. I also have an app now, which is new, and my ears ringing as I talk about it. And that's my thing, because I've been like really weird about talking about it. So I know it's like encouragement, like talk about your app. Yeah. But I actually do. I'm so proud of this app. I kind of look at it as a way for people to dip their toes into the work, into hypnotherapy, and see what it can do for you. And there's EFT sessions. If you're familiar with emotional freedom technique, I'm certified in that as well. So I have EFT sessions. I do Oracle readings, Oracle and card pull readings, tarot readings in there. We have live events every month that there's a different theme each month that we all get together and we do a collective hypnosis and we just talk about stuff. And it's really, really fun. It's tons of stuff in there. It's called Align Your Mind. Highly recommend. You can download it for free. You can get started for free. There's lots of free content in there. And it's like my baby right now. So those are really the two main ways. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. That's pretty much it. My website's lynnsey.robinson.com. You'll find me if you Google me. You know what I did the other day? This is another, I have to say. So I was like, hey, Claude, you know, the AI, Claude. Yeah. I was like, what do you know about Lynnsey Robinson? And it searched me and was like, well, Lynnsey Robinson is this and this and this. And she has a podcast and she has an app and she's done tons of sessions. And I'm like, oh my God, Claude, that's me. And it was like, love that. It actually said, it was like, this is so stupid. Claude was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool to meet the person behind the search results for once. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
That's so cute.
It was such a cool moment to like flatter myself and read what it said about this person. But it was me. It was really fun.
I love that. I've done that before where I'm like, what happens when I write in Jessica Lynn and all this shit comes up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So cool. Oh, I love it. Okay. Your first question. If you miss
I've been waiting for these.
I know. You said at the start you're excited. So here they are. If you miss your flight, is it your fault or destiny's?
Oh, well, I have missed a flight before and it was definitely my fault. Well,
is it though?
No.
Is it really your fault or is it destiny?
That's a good point. I mean, it was my actions that led up to it, but was my soul orchestrating it? That is a good question. I guess it would depend on if the plane crashed, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, that was destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
Because all that really happened, and again, we can't know, because when I did miss my flight, it was on my move to California. I ended up getting there like 2 days later, and nothing really crazy happened. But do I know that? What if there was a car crash and I didn't know? What if I was meant to be in a car crash and I just wasn't? You know what I mean? That is a good question. Okay, fine. It's destiny. Fine.
I agree. We got to go with that. All right. Your second question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Yeah.
It's a hot dog.
I agree. It's not a sandwich. Like, it's not a thing. I would not go, oh, I feel like a sandwich hot dog. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I can't.
I want a hot dog sandwich. No. And I actually, all my kids love hot dogs, and I think they would all agree that it is definitely not a sandwich. It is a hot dog. It's a hot dog.
Oh my God, I love this one for you. This is so weird. Every time I ask questions, like Jade comes up with the questions, she doesn't know who she's creating them for, but they always relate in some kind of way to you or what you're doing. So this is actually really weird. All right, your third question. What is one rule that you follow that you made up for yourself?
Oh no. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Well, not the carrot and the stick anymore, I'll tell you that much. One rule that I follow. Oh, this is hard. Because now I'm thinking of like when I was a kid and I had to like step on all or like avoid all the cracks on the sidewalk when I was walking home from school. Or like how when you're running up the stairs, you have to like make it in less than 3 seconds. You know what I mean? That kind of things. But now I'm like, as an adult, what are some rules? There are some things that I know there's one. There's going to be such a good one right after we stop talking.
You will.
But I will say, this is a boring one, but every morning I do, before I get out of bed, when I'm still in my bed, I say, thank you, bed, for being so comfortable. Thank you for this day. Thank you, guides, angels, ancestors, and all my goddesses that are working with me, my whole spirit team. And I can't wait for you to show me how cool today's going to be.
Oh, I love that.
Some version of that. And then the other day I said, as soon as my feet touch the floor, my lucky day begins. Something like that.
I love lucky girl stuff. That's so good.
But I did make it up, and it is something that I do, and it seems to be working for me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's funny because I was thinking, I'm like, what is a rule I've made up for myself? I am really big on like nail color. Like I can't have my toenails be a different color to my fingernails, or I can have toenails one color and then my nails have to be a bit more neutral. That's the vibe. I can't have two different. Ugh.
So in like 1998, my sister told me this. My older sister was like, you can never have your nails not match your toes. And I've never strayed from that. No, but then I said it to someone else. I said it to her daughter. I said it to my niece, and she's like, my mom never told me that, and I do it all the time. And I'm like, well, what? She said it to me. Now it's a rule in my brain forever.
It is. I can't do it. I can't be like, oh, I've got pink on my nails and on my like hands, and then I've got like, black on my toes. Like I can't fathom it. I'm like, you need the matchy or neutral and color. Like I just can't. Like even because I do my toenails every second time I go to the nail salon. So I'm like, okay, the first time I'm like, match me. The second time I'm like, nails neutral. And then we go back to my toes and then we match again. Like it's a whole thing. It's a whole rule.
Maybe sugar always before cream in my coffee. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a rule. It is something that it's just a habit, maybe.
Yeah, it's a rule for you. It's what happens.
A rule for me. And it is. There are no police for that, so I'm not gonna. It's not a real rule. It's just something I made up.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I have loved chatting to you. Thank you so much for being here. I have loved it.
This was fun, and I loved those questions. Please tell her those were great. Those were absolutely fantastic.
She'll be wrapped. I love it.